This is Out of the Box with your host, Jonathan Clark. Out of the Box, Sunday nights at 9 on Q1043.
Well, you know him as a member of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame with Grammy-winning band R.E.M. They've sold close to 100 million albums, and a founding member and lead singer of that band. Also a published photographer, film producer of over 25 films, including Being John Malkovich, Velvet Goldmine. He is Michael Stipe. And you know our other guest is a founding member and songwriter and producer for the Grammy-winning band The National, as well as Big Red Machine, a band with Justin Vernon of Bon Iver. He is Aaron Dessner. The new song from these two guys, it's a new incarnation of Big Red Machine, and it is Michael and Aaron. And the song is No Time for Love Like Now. How are you guys?
Very well, thank you.
Great, thanks.
I'm going to start with you, Michael. The first question always these days on these interviews seems to be, I hope you and all of your loved ones and your inner circle are all healthy and COVID-free.
Thank you. That's not actually the case, but everyone's doing well now.
So, okay, that's good. Aaron, how's it looking like there?
Well, I'm fine. My immediate family is fine, but we have aunts and uncles that have been exposed and had it, but they're all doing better now. So, and I'm lucky to be in a safe place. So thank you.
Aaron, have you become adept at homeschooling now?
We're in month 5 of no childcare and homeschooling with 3 small kids. So I would say I'm adept, or adept or inept, depending on the day. So,
Michael, is this the longest time you have spent in one place?
No, but I do tend to jump around my whole life.
Yeah.
I was born into an Army family, and we moved a great deal when I was a child. And then I started the band and continued that at kind of a much stronger velocity. But no, in 2009, I was in a single place for 6 months. I went to a wedding. That was the only time that I left. And but I'm not used to being this much alone. That's something that I'm also not terribly accustomed to. Some pretty interesting stuff has come up out of it.
Creative stuff?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah. It's been really. I mean, Aaron and I have talked about it a bit, but it's been really. It's been kind of. It's a terrible time. It's a terrible time for everyone. But I do firmly and strongly believe that this is a time of great transition, and this moment is an incredibly powerful moment if you are lucky enough to be in a position to be able to take a step back, look at what it's doing to you outside of the sickness, outside of the illness, and try to reflect on that. And so that I've been trying. I'm an optimist, so I've been trying for myself and for others around me to look at the brighter side of the difficulty of a complete lockdown like this.
Well, we're doing all of these interviews via Zoom now, and Aaron and I were just talking about this recently, and I was thinking, if they had Zoom like in the 80s, the 90s, and the 2000s, and this especially applies to you, Michael, and Aaron, you guys would have never had to visit a radio station.
I don't actually mind visiting radio stations. I like it when people are supportive of the work that we do, and I put a lot of work into. I put a lot of thought and a lot of energy and time into what I do. So I always kind of don't mind visiting. What I mind is doing the ridiculous. This is Michael Stipe, and you're listening to those little.
The IDs.
IDs, yeah, thank you. It's been a while since I've had to do one, so I forgot what they were called.
Michael, I read somewhere you have a whole bunch of songs ready to record. Is that true?
You read that in the Italian press, and there was a little bit of a translation.
Oh.
What I said to the interviewer, who was a very big fan, was that I was working on 18 pieces of music. And he interpreted that to mean that there were 18 songs that were ready to be released into the world. And Aaron can tell you that's not quite the case. I am working with a variety of people on different tracks, and I'm composing and co-composing for the first time in my life. And so music I'm coming at music from a completely different place, and I like it very much. It's been fascinating and very challenging.
Aaron, music is such an amazing gift, especially with you guys as songwriters. And a perfect example of this is this song, because the genesis of No Time for Love Like Now was actually before COVID, right? Before George Floyd and right? I mean, back in 2019, I think was when you guys first started working on this song.
Yeah. I mean, I wrote the music maybe last May 2019, and Michael and I saw each other in the summer, and I shared the sketch with him, among other things, and this was a piece of music he really gravitated towards, and I think had written most, if not all, of the words, by October or November last year, and we recorded an early version then, and it's uncanny and a little bit magical or surreal how relevant the words became when this situation kind of descended upon us. It seems as though it was written about it, but actually it was written before. But that is the weird alchemy and magic of music and Michael's words.
I was speaking to Butch Vig last week, and the name of his new album with his project called 5 Billion in Diamonds is Divine Accidents.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that really sort of applies to you guys in this song, too. Michael, for this song, you've designed a T-shirt and a tote or something?
Yeah, tote bags. You always need a tote bag. Everyone needs a tote bag.
But the proceeds of which go to some good charities.
That's correct. Yeah, we wanted to. I mean, I'm lucky enough to be in a position where I don't have to have music or art as the way that I pay the bills, and so I like to give back with every new release that I put out as a solo artist or with Big Red Machine here. I like to give something back, and this is a small gesture, but it's one that addresses the times and in a way that I think is important. And
tell us about these charities.
Also, I have to say, the world does not need another T-shirt, but it's a pretty good T-shirt.
It is. One of the charities is called the Equal Justice Initiative, which is Brian Stevenson's organization that's dedicated to really trying to change the narrative in the country and around truth telling as it relates to Native American genocide and slavery and race and endemic systemic racism in the country. And there's actually a amazing museum. It's in Alabama that memorializes lynching and racist violence all around the country. And I saw him speak, actually, Brian Stevenson at a summit at the Barack Obama's Foundation Summit a few years ago, and it was amazing to listen to Mr. Stevenson talk about how, why are there not, in a country that has had so much violence, racist violence, why is there not more of an effort to bear witness and memorialize it? And whereas in Germany, for example, or in France, if there are kids deported from a school, Jewish kids or other kids, then it's marked with a plaque very clearly and memorialized. And we just we're so far behind in kind of truth telling and bearing witness to these atrocities, but that's kind of the first step in healing and in potential reconciliation. And that the first step is truth telling. And so it's just a really inspiring organization. And so part of the proceeds go there. And then there's we wanted to donate also to a COVID protest relief fund that is kind of helping people that are impacted by COVID and sort of legal issues around being involved in protests and activism.
We're speaking with Aaron Dessner of the National Big Red Machine and also Michael Stipe, their new song, No Time for Love Like Now. Aaron, the band name, is that about the Cincinnati Reds?
Big Red Machine, it's interesting. Yeah, it was just a sketch that I wrote in 2008 for Dark Was the Night, which is a charity record to benefit. It was for the Red Hot organization to benefit HIV and AIDS charities. And I sent it to Justin Vernon at the time. I didn't even know him. We just had been MySpace friends, and
MySpace.
and he wrote a song to it, and he didn't know what I was referring to, Big Red Machine, because I was born in Cincinnati, Ohio in 1976, the second year in a row that the Cincinnati Reds won the World Series. So yeah, I was sort of a Big Red Machine baby. But Justin interpreted Big Red Machine to be a heart, and so there's sort of a metaphor in the lyrics to the Big Red Machine song, and we just kind of, it stuck, and then we became really close friends and made music together, and so when we put out an album last 2 years ago, which is really just an experimental kind of album, two friends and other people around us, just really kind of loose, but a beautiful album, and that we kind of decided let's call our band Big Red Machine. And then Michael, we've kind of like lured Michael into the fold. Thankfully, we're pretty lucky in that sense.
We're all lucky. Michael, I want to ask you, what is the longest time that you have spent not singing into a microphone in a studio or in front of an audience?
5 years.
5 years.
Yeah, and that was a long time. That felt. I mean, when R.E.M. disbanded, I needed to not think about music as a medium, personally as a medium, for a while, which was interesting because I don't typically listen to music. My boyfriend has music on in the house a lot, and so I hear a lot of stuff that I wouldn't have heard on my own. But I find music very distracting, frankly, and it was after the band disbanded that I realized I had not thought about music my entire adult life since I was 19 years old. It was always, with R.E.M., it was always there. And so it was a bit of a vacation, frankly, to not have to think about music, and also to not be under contract, because I've been under contract since I was 23 years old with this or that company, with this or that booking agent, public relations firm, or agent. I don't have a manager. I don't have a lawyer. I mean, I have a battery of lawyers, but not particularly around music. It was really nice to step away from it, and then even better to realize when I came back into it quite accidentally that music for me is like breathing, and singing is something that I missed immensely. And I do love my voice. I know that sounds arrogant to say, but I like my singing voice. I have enough ego to like a lot of the things that I have to say. So it felt really good to come back into it through projects like this, and to be able to work with someone like Aaron, who I have immense respect for and a great deal of love for, and for the song to turn out as great as this one did, because I think it surprised both of us, frankly, how it turned out. It's simple and direct in the most complex and indirect possible way.
When you took that break and then you first started singing, then did you notice that your voice had changed for the better, maybe gotten stronger? Was it easier to sing, or?
It was an immense relief to sing again. My voice has changed dramatically, but for the better, I believe. I think my range shifted. I don't know if you can see my hands. Most singers, I think, have a range from like here to here, and then there's a place right here where nothing happens, or there are keys or notes that you cannot hit. Mine shifted both up and down, and the place in the middle became slightly larger. But my baritone, or the baritone aspects of my voice, seem to have grown more powerful with age. I also quit smoking 13 years ago, so that changed my voice as well. And I changed my diet. I mean, things change, so I changed. My voice changed.
Michael, I'm not sure whether it was 2001 or 2000, I think for the Reveal album, or 2004 for Around the Sun, but you guys, REM, you did something really cool for our radio station. We had a contest. I don't know if you remember this, but it was for Q1043 in New York. And the contest winners got to go to, I believe it was Montana Studios on the West Side. And you guys played literally for like 20 people. And I will never forget it because I was right in front of Peter Buck's guitar amp and he was melting my face for about an hour. So I just wanted to thank you again for that, for doing that for our radio station. It was a long time ago, but it was so much fun. Did
a woman faint at the end?
I think, yes.
Yeah, I remember that.
I think so.
Yeah, I jumped off stage. Stage was the floor, but I went and helped her and gave her some water. I remember that distinctly.
Yeah. Michael, one last thing. I was watching the video of Eddie Vedder inducting you into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And one thing that has always stayed with me when you came on to accept and you guys all spoke and everything was your closing story about your grandmother before she passed and how she said to you, she grabbed your arm strongly, firmly and said, Michael, R.E.M. will always stand for me for remember every moment. And I just thought that has stayed with me since I first saw you guys do that.
She was really wise, and that has stayed with me as well. I have yet to tattoo it on my body, but I've been tempted. The thing I remember from that night is that I asked everyone in the audience who had anything to do with R.E.M's success to please stand as I called them out. And by the end of the evening, everyone was standing except for one person, the band's manager, Bertus Downs. He's been with us. Aaron knows him very well. Yeah. And he's a character. Bertus has been with us since the very beginning, since he was a fan who was in law school. And of course, the one person who I forgot to and was Bertus.
Oh, no. But still a fantastic moment. Well, we all want to forget 2020, but we're going to remember the great things about this year, like this song from Big Red Machine, No Time for Love Like Now. It's Michael Stipe and Aaron Dessner from Big Red Machine and the National. Guys, I hope there's more down the pike because this song is brilliant. Michael, your voice is angelic as usual. It's fantastic, and it sounds great on the radio, and we're going to play it right now. Guys, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
This is Out of the Box with your host, Jonathan Clark. Out of the Box, Sunday nights at 9 on Q1043.